Okay, so we're going to solve word problems involving consecutive integers. I teach these completely different from a lot of classes. It does have algebra, but there's a little bit of logic that we can use to make things a little easier for ourselves. So first thing we need to know is that consecutive means in order. So consecutive and integers are whole numbers. They can be positive or negative. So if I'm thinking just consecutive integers, I could think of numbers, they're going to be in order. They could start wherever they start, but I'm really thinking of like 1, 2, 3. I could think of -8, -7, -6, if I'm counting, starting with negative numbers. Consecutive even will be numbers such as 2, 4, 6. Yet again, it could be negative, so it could be like -10, -8, -6, anything like that. Consecutive odd are going to be odd numbers, so it could be like 1, 3, 5. It could be -11, -9, -7, anything like that, that they are going in order and you're not skipping around or skipping any numbers, and we are going from smallest to largest with those. So a lot of teachers will tell you if I'm doing 3 consecutive odd integers, what I want to think about, and I start the same way. I do want to think of 3 consecutive numbers, so my numbers are going to be, there's 1, 2, and 3. And I'm looking for what they are. So a lot of teachers will say that this number is x, and then since it's odd, I'm going to go up by 2, so this will be x plus 2, and then this will be another 2 added to it, so this would be x plus 4. Now, that does work. It is totally valid. If that is how you're used to doing these problems, I have no problem with it. You are welcome to do it. But if you haven't done these before, keep in mind, we are going for all of these numbers. We're going to find them, but I don't have to choose that first number to be x. I can pick whichever one I want. This is where math has options. So what I am going to do is I'm going to call this one x, so that's my middle number. And if I want to go up in an odd number, so say that that was 5, my next odd integer is going to be 2 bigger than that. So this would be x plus 2. But then the one before it would be 2 less than that number. So this is going to be x minus 2. And now consecutive means I'm going to add, they have a sum, so I'm going to add them all together, and it's going to equal 27. So this is my first number, x minus 2, plus x, so that's my middle number, plus x plus 2. All of that has to equal 27. Now, when you see a shortcut, you're welcome to use it. However, we're going to still look at all the different things. I don't need these parentheses because there's nothing in front of it. So what I have is x minus 2 plus x plus 2 equals 27. Just writing a little extra stuff. Now I got to combine like terms. So I have my x's. There's 1, 2, 3 x's, because remember there's coefficients of 1 in front of each one of those. So I have 3x, and then I have a minus 2 and a plus 2. So those actually cancel out. So 3x equals 27. Ooh, this is not looking too bad. So divide by 3. Divide by 3. X equals 9. So actually what's going to happen is that mean number, that middle number, is the same thing as the mean. It is the average of all of my numbers that I have. So if I take the number that I have, the sum that I'm going to get, and I find the average of it, the mean of it, so I divide by however many numbers, that will find me my middle number. So there is shortcuts. So my middle number, when I'm looking at these 3 numbers that I have, is 9. Now, does it fit what I have? Is it an odd integer? Yes. It is not even. It does not end with a 0, 2, 4, or 6, or 8. So this is 9. So that's my middle number. I need the next number that is bigger than 9, that is also odd. So that will be 11. And the number that is the odd number before 9, so that will be 7. And if I add them all up, I still get 27. So this is how I solve them. I find it a little easier to do it this way. I do shortcut it quite a bit. So then if we're looking at 3 consecutive integers have a sum of 81, yet again, I know my numbers. This is x, something, something, something. There are 3 of them. I'm going to call this x. Now this time they're consecutive integers, so they're not changing. They're not going by anything other than, I have no idea why it's saying that. Anyways, so it's going up and down by 1. So this is going to be x plus 1, and this is going to be x minus 1, because I want it the one right before it. So adding those together, I have x minus 1 plus x plus x plus 1. They have to add up together and equal 81. So what I'm going to have is, rewriting it just so you can see all the things, x minus 1 plus x plus x plus 1, 81. So I have 3 x's, yet again, 1, 2, 3, and the negative 1 and positive 1 cancel out, so 3x equals 81. Divide by 3, and x equals 27. All right, so that means my 3 numbers, okay, the first, there's nothing special about them, they're just plain old numbers, so this is 27. The next number will be 28, and the number before it will be 26. And if I add all those up together, I will have 81. All right, so with this, it goes a little bit different if I only have 2 consecutive even integers. I can still find that middle number, that average. It's just I will be finding kind of in between the two. So if I wanted to take this and divide it by 2, I would have 25. That would be right in between my 2 numbers. So there's a couple different ways if we only have 2. So if I have 2, I have, looking at those numbers, I have x, and they're even, so this is going to be x plus 2 if I want it. If I found the middle number, it is 25. 25 is right here, if I'm thinking about this. So this is 2x plus 2 equals 50. Subtracting 2. 2x equals 48 divided by 2 divided by 2, and x equals 24. My x was that first number, so this is 24. Next even number is 26. So if you shortcut it and just say, ooh, I'm going to have 2 numbers divided in half, if there's only 2, you're just right in between, which is where that 25 would be. So either way, either use the x's or the mean. Both ways are fine, but just remember, consecutive means that they're going in order. Consecutive even have to be even numbers, meaning they have to end in a 2, 4, 6, or 8, or 0. And then the consecutive odds would end with a 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9.